this is a nothing burger. Nobody should be talking about this. This is boring. That's my main point. I'm not trying to like get mad at Tyreek Hill because whatever. He acts like a rich,
hilariously, we're adding to the discourse by including it on our podcast. But yes, I agree. The point is it shouldn't have become a headline. Listen to the cops, Pennsylvania versus Mims. Like, shut up.
But if he turns into a crab, you know where you heard it first, folks.
You heard it here first.
You heard it on Grasstouchers. Brother.
Hello and welcome to Grasstouchers, the show where the three of us pals talk about video games and how much we don't play them, and football, even though it's really frustrating.
We don't play football either.
We also don't play football. I'm Jake.
I'm Jared.
And I'm Greg.
I want to get into it. It's time. Jared, what do we got?
We've got a Need for Speed.
Oh.
And I cut my mic out right as I hit that. No, that has nothing to do with anything. I just wanted to say that.
Yeah, dude.
You know, some here and there. The international, the big biggest Valve sponsored Dota tourney is going on this weekend. They had the playoffs last weekend and a bunch of qualifiers all year. So it's finally coming down to 8 teams, and it's great because it's in Copenhagen. So that way I get to not watch it live. It starts at 9:30 in the morning in Copenhagen, which is
you just like don't have a shot
at
watching.
So it's like, all right, well, I'm watching the replays, in little bits and pieces, and I'm enjoying that. Aside from that,
a whole Dota tournament in a dip can. How about that, Copenhagen?
Yeah, dude, that's where it is.
That's clearly where it comes from. Yeah,
it's inside of the stinky old can. The Marvel vs. Capcom fighting game collection came out. I have not gotten it yet.
Yeah, we talked about that a few weeks ago.
I haven't gotten it yet because I was going to get it for Steam. I don't have a Switch. It's not releasing on Xbox. But wait, there's more.
Oh.
Yeah, Microsoft was like, whoa, let's work this thing out. Because now it seems like people want to play this game. People are going to buy it. So let's get it on our console. And so it will be releasing on Xbox just later. So I'll be partaking in that.
Was that a decision that was made when did it release? Yesterday, a couple days ago?
It released 2 days ago, I think.
Was that one of those where it was released and it sold well and Microsoft was like, oh, well, maybe, or was that a decision already made?
The hype around it, I think, was so big that somebody at Microsoft was like, we've got to collaborate with Capcom on this and get this on our platform. It hadn't released when they decided that they're going to release it on Xbox, but I mean, they can tell the future. These big corporations, they have all the money in the world, and they can see the data and be like, this is going to be worth our while. Let's.
Well, and the people at the top will get on a private jet together and or whatever, you know what I mean? And sort of tell each other their plans. And so at the top, at the highest levels, there is communication, and then plans are made and stuff.
So yeah, that's cool. I'm excited for that, and I'm also excited because I don't really want to spend $50 on that collection right now, so maybe I can wait a little bit and timing will be a little better. Aside from that, Retroid announced the Retroid Pocket 5.
Another handheld, my goodness.
Well, the meme in the handheld world, as you guys should know, I can let you in on this, is that they release a new handheld every 5 minutes.
Dude, seriously,
no,
though.
I'm serious.
Amber, like you and 4 other people are keeping these guys in business. Like, what the frick?
And that's another meme in that crowd is like people buying them and not playing them. Like that's a thing. There's guys who are like, my collection post, and it's like 30 different handhelds, and they're like, I don't play any of them, but
they sure do look good.
They sure do look good. And the thing is with the new Retroid, though, is that their iterative main releases, their pocket releases, are probably that's like kind of their flagship. And granted, yes, the Pocket 4 came out like 6 months ago or something.
That's crazy.
But still, there's they're making leaps in a way that, like, for whatever reason, I don't know, they're like sourcing parts cheaper and making, things are getting more powerful very quickly in an arena that is probably like a tech race a little bit.
Oh,
like,
for sure.
People are
they
buying
have a great
handhelds.
graphic on their site for the listener. If you just Google like Retroid Pocket 5, you can go to their website. One of the slides in the sort of deck of pictures here is a comparison between the 4 and the 5. The 5 is like 20 grams heavier, but the screen bezel is like almost non-existent. It's a really thin bezel, so that you just get like, it's like the Steam Deck sort of form factor, right? Like it's sort of landscape and like a big nice sort of screen in the middle. And so that has iterated, and then they have Hall effect joysticks, which if you're a real hardware nerd, those are sick because they're less prone to drift and wear and tear over time, and they're more precise and stuff. So it looks pretty cool. If I was in the market for a handheld, which I'm not,
it's a leap. It is definitely a leap. They've got OLED screens in there too.
Oh, you love to see it. Goodness gracious.
And the price point is pretty darn good. So that's just something I'm not going to be buying that right now.
Yeah. I like that gray one, dude. That's pretty sick.
The GameCube one looks nice too.
I was going to say the
OLED,
purple GameCube.
more like OLED.
So
do that again for us, Jake. If you could do that again, I'd appreciate that.
So that's pretty cool, and all things that I can't really buy right now, and that's okay. And what about you, Dagward?
Well, as you were talking about the Retroid, I started to think about I've been thinking about this for weeks now. I have so many games on Steam that I've literally never played. Like I downloaded them, and some of them were $50 or $60, and I maybe played them 5 minutes, and in some cases never played. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read down, and this won't take very long because my library is nothing like Jake's or anything. I'm going to read all of the games. I'm going to read every game in my Steam library that functionally I have never played, meaning I've played 5 minutes or less or never played it ever.
Right. I'm ready.
For a variety of reasons. And your task, should you choose to accept it, is to determine which one you're going to judge me the most for not having played, even though I own it. Okay.
And by happenstance, we'll also be recommending which one you should play first.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Number one.
I'm into it.
So, starting at the top, this is alphabetical order. The entire BioShock collection. So BioShock, BioShock 2, BioShock Infinite, and the remastered versions of both.
That's huge. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Firewatch, never played. God of War, never played. That's the one that was ported from PS4. Hollow Knight. Horizon Zero Dawn Complete Edition.
Oh, I like that game.
Marvel's Midnight Suns, which I bought because Jared recommended it on a pod about 30 episodes ago, and then I never played it.
Nice.
NBA 2K24. PGA Tour 2K23. And that's it. Oh, no. Red Dead Redemption 2.
Oh, gee whiz. Well, gosh, I kind of feel like that's not inexcusable, but like close.
Wait, haven't you never played Mass Effect also?
Oh, yeah. I don't think you own it, but the Mass Effect collection.
Okay.
Don't buy another game because clearly you shouldn't. Yeah. But that's up there on the list for me. Oh my gosh. Okay, so if I remember these correctly, I'll say a few things. Firewatch I've heard is super super cool. It's very story driven. I don't really care if you play it or not. I haven't played it either. I just know from other people that's very good. Clay, a friend of the pod, Clay Maxey, said that was a very good game. Red Dead Redemption 2 kind of feels like target number 1.
Yeah.
Close behind that is a tie for me between BioShock 1, just regular good old vanilla BioShock, and Horizon Zero Dawn, because Horizon Zero Dawn has some things in it that are super like tried and true, just game mechanics that they won't wow you, but it's like, oh yeah, I know this kind of game, right? kill a mob of bad guys, collect their stuff, build a thing, have a better arrow for my bow and arrow, and now I can take down a freaking T-Rex or whatever. Like, there's sort of this iterative, like, survival crafty game loop, but it's just sort of injected with this, like, sci-fi story that is pretty mind-bending at times. Very, very neat. I think Horizon Zero Dawn is super cool. When it first came out, it didn't run very well on the PC, and I'm sure whatever edition you have at this point is, optimized and sort of would rock out on your rig. BioShock, because of obvious reasons, it's game of the year. The span of time where it came out, it was not topped as a single-player story-driven experience for years. Just incredible. The second one, and Infinite, not so much, don't really care. If you can put yourself in like 2004 mentally, or whenever BioShock came out, and remember that it came out then as like a somewhat midlife Xbox 360 title, it should kind of blow your mind pretty good. Are you familiar with BioShock as a story at all? Has it been like spoiled for you? Do you like know about it already?
Yeah, I've read all the spoilers and all that stuff, like the
there you
kind
go.
of the spoiler of the game. I mean, it's kind of hard to for a while. I had a love affair with Watch Mojo. If you guys remember Watch Mojo, that YouTube channel,
Yes.
the top 10s, and like I would always watch those like top 10 most like screwed up twist endings, and like of course it would always be spoiled because I love guys. I'm gonna let you in a little secret. I like to be spoiled.
He likes to be pampered.
I know that about you.
I
He likes
like
his
spoilers.
little butt, his little booty powdered, and to put his
Not that kind of spoiled.
slippers on and cozy up and watch Lion King. That's right, dude.
I like to be spoiled. No, I like to read a good spoiler, and I think it's just I just lack self control when it comes to spoilers in any form of entertainment. But no, I've read that stuff, and so Red Dead Redemption and BioShock, and Horizon Zero Dawn for sure. Yeah,
there's some others on there that I'm sure are very, very good. I couldn't care less about sports games, but I'm sure those are also fine. Okay, all right. I'm not judging you so hard because there's things that I haven't took enough time to enjoy either. So
well, then there's also the what I would call the embarrassing category of games that I should have way more hours on than I do, which is like Cyberpunk 2077. I have 90 minutes played on that game, and that's a very, very, very good game.
Well, it is now.
It is now,
and
the last time I played it was April 2021. So
if you logged those 90 minutes around the time the game came out, all is forgiven. But oh gosh, I wish we had this podcast when that game came out because it would have been it was the Starfield of its time, where it came out and everyone was like, what do you mean this is what you made? You can't be serious. And they were. But props to CD Projekt Red. They stuck with it and improved a bunch of stuff, and there's DLC, and it's all very, very good now. I've heard it. I really want to re-engage. I bought that game twice, dude. I bought it on Xbox One, and I bought it on PC because I was like, this is going to be the new hotness. I just know it. When I played on PC, it wasn't a horrible experience. I had a gamer laptop for a while, and I just kind of put everything on like medium low, and I was blown away. And I was like, dude, I should get this on the Xbox. I can sit down in the basement and like play on the big TV at my parents' house,
Yeah. What was that? Horizon Zero Dongs. Am I right, guys? Give me something for that. Give me some skin.
Anyways, that's great. I think you should pick one of those games and update us on it in the next, however long, whenever you get a chance. For me, fellas, it's been Tarkov time, and it's been fantasy football time. This past Sunday, I had just the most blessed afternoon where we came home from church, which also was great. Church was great this past weekend. We watched football. We smoked a pork loin. We had a couple of adult beverages. And I sat on the couch and scratched my nuts, dude. It was so sick.
It's the best. There's literally nothing better.
It was a good Sunday, brother, let me tell you. Oh, my gosh. I couldn't believe how nice it was. And then on yesterday, Thursday night, I watched the first half of the Dolphins-Bills game because old Tua Tagovailoa is my QB1 right now.
And Josh Allen can pound sand, by the way.
I agree. He got his rocked, and Tua is like maybe career ended. I didn't realize he has like a history of concussions. He's messed up, a few times and taken hits that you wish you don't see. And he also threw like 3 interceptions before that. And it's like he was not. Yeah, and the Bills secondary is like good, but they have freaking Tyreek Hill and like a bunch of other people, and I don't know. It was a high risk, high reward play for me to keep him in QB1, and it did not pay off. And hilariously, he got his brain busted by Damar Hamlin of all people, who you may recall if you watched football last year, was that guy that got hit at precisely the wrong time. And not because of the hit, but just sort of freak accident, like his heart stopped. And that was insane to watch last year. It was the Bills. I don't even remember who they played, but it was the Bills against somebody.
I think it was the Bengals.
Was it the Bengals?
Yeah.
He took a hit sort of right to the chest, and as a defensive player, you're going to get hit sometimes, whether you're making a tackle or someone's in your way, whatever. And his freaking heart stopped, but he made a recovery. He's like fully playing again, and he absolutely ruined Tua last night. So I was like, ouch. And he had thrown like a touchdown, and he threw for like 170 yards and rushed for like 17 yards. Like, he had a game on his hands, but those 3 interceptions absolutely tanked what few fantasy points he was getting me. I think it was like 5 points now. So.
Yeah.
So that was pretty lame, but I've been enjoying football season, that's for sure. And Tarkov just really rocks. You guys watch any football this past week or so?
Do you guys see the political injustice levied against poor Tyreek Hill? The Saint Tyreek, as I call him. When I'm lighting my big tall Catholic candle with Tyreek Hill on it and praying that no injustice comes to this man. That is one of the most nauseating things I've watched in a while, and I'm sure that this is probably going to get covered in the podcast, but maybe it shouldn't.
Go ahead, Uncle Jared. Let's hear it.
You guys watched the body cam footage, right?
I did.
You did?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like...
Wait, hold on. What happened? Just can we
So,
Tyreek Hill... Yeah, go ahead, Jared.
Tyreek got arrested outside... On game day, he got arrested. People were like filming as they're passing by, like, "Oh, Tyreek getting arrested!" Like what, doing that whole thing, and people were like, let's withhold judgment until we see like what the context was, which is
he was just speeding, right? Wasn't that what he got pulled over?
Well, I heard he
was too fast.
What the reports were saying, he was going 100 miles per hour in a 30, because he's like driving like a McLaren.
Yeah.
Like a blacked out McLaren, and he's like laid out on the concrete, and they're like arresting him. And
if he was going 130, they should lay him on the concrete and arrest him.
It's felonious. Yeah. You can get arrested for going that fast, but whatever. But he's on the field Sunday, and catches a game-winning touchdown to beat the Jags, and it was like really annoying to watch. My brother's a Jags fan, so I'm rooting for the Jags, and it's like. Great, man. But the body cam footage came out, and of course I see this on Reddit, which I don't know how many times I have to say this, but I'm going to say it so that people know. Reddit is a toilet. It's a stinky toilet filled with feces, undigested corn. It is a garbage heap. Okay,
it's so bad.
I'm not even trying to be political. It's just so incredibly skewed to the left that it like is obnoxious and just it's sad to see because it feels like a psyop.
Yes, it is. I would argue that it is literally a psyop.
You go in there. I would too. You go in there, and sometimes I'll sort by controversial, and there will be opposing opinions. But they're all like toothless, no grammar. Like, well, what? Kamala's done. She can't even read good, And then the people are, and then the Reddit leftists are like, oh, we've got another one here, folks. They're like bawling. They're like, they think that they're like serving somebody. It's like a Russian bot probably who's like pretending to be a right-wing person. It's like it's so annoying. So the body cam footage comes out, and you go in the comments sections, and okay, let's make things clear. The police officers were I think they slightly crossed over the line into unnecessary force. Okay, but then everybody just wants to ignore that Tyreek Hill could have just cooperated, and it would have been fine.
I couldn't agree more.
They pull over a guy. Yes, he's black. Doesn't matter right now. They pull over a guy.
When they pulled him over, they had no idea who he was. He was just in a very nice car,
just in
which had extremely tinted windows, by the way.
Right.
They wouldn't be able to tell if that person was white, black, brown, or purple,
right,
but based on the tint of the windows.
Right. So they think, okay,
which was totally legal. The window tint was totally legal. I just want to point that out. There's no way that it's possible that the window tint was illegal or the speed was illegal. But go on.
Well, it's Florida. I don't even know. You could probably.
Do they even have laws?
Yeah, I don't know. But they're pulling someone over who like ostensibly is like, this is a wealthy person. Okay.
Right.
This is problem number one that I have with this situation, because people are like, they're in the comments and they're like, poor Tyreek Hill. They're like, this is injustice, people. This is what it looks like. And it's like, no. I don't know.
He's a bazillionaire. He's
a bajillionaire.
millionaire.
And it's like
no,
And it's like people like to go. They like to be like, oh, like this is my favorite athlete, and like me and him are like pals, and LeBron, you better watch out because Steph Curry is. I'm a Golden State fan, and you know. He would side with me if we got into an argument together with you. And it's like, no, these rich guys, these athletes, they like each other way more than they like you. So let's just dispense with that right now. You think?
You know what it reminds me of is when we talked about Elden Ring and people that are like, you shouldn't beat Elden Ring with using certain things. You only really beat Elden Ring if you used a sword and a shield. And it's like, bro, the developers don't care about your life, dude. It doesn't matter.
Right.
You could get hit by a bus tomorrow and no one would know.
Nobody would
it's fine,
know, and they wouldn't care.
Like, and you think Tyreek Hill gives? This is what kills me. The same people that say this is injustice because a black man was treated a little roughly by some cops for breaking the law feloniously. That statement coexists in their brain with, like, rich people are the devil, eat the rich, murder the 1%, etc.
Yeah.
Right? The 1% of the 1%.
The 1% of the 1% gets to roll up their windows during a routine stop. This should not be so.
This is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
This is what I'm saying. He's the 1%. Do we hate him or do we not hate him? Make up your mind, Reddit. Make up your mind,
exactly.
Purple hair people.
Exactly. And that's my issue. Everyone's just kind of like, everyone just gives Tyreek a pass for like rolling up his window. He's on the phone. He's rolling up his window while they're trying to talk to him. And it's like, dude, if he had just pulled over, rolled his window down, said, problem? They would have been like, yeah, problem. You're going way too fast. Here's a ticket. I have you in fantasy. Go off today, please. Then we wouldn't be talking about this. But he had to like throw a fit and act like I'm sorry. I'm not even going to say anything about his race. He had to act like a rich person, dude. He had to act like a rich person. He had to be like, I'm Tyreek Hill. It's game day. I'm a baller. I'm about to go off. I'm the man. You can't touch me. And the cops, of course, fed off that. And they're like,
wanna bet?
Yeah, check this out, dude. We're going to arrest you. And again, I don't think that the cops are just like good. They're all just good guys. And that was the right thing to do, to like yank him out of his car and pull him down and lay him down. But it's like,
sure.
But it's like, dude, they were reacting because he was being a rich dude, not because he's black, dude. Had nothing to do with it. If this was some black guy driving a gremlin down the road and gets pulled over for going, I don't even think they can go 100 miles per hour, but going like 60 miles per hour in a 30, and then they yanked him out of his car and arrested him, guess who'd be talking about it? Absolutely nobody. Except for people in obscure corners of the internet who are like, this is injustice. That's already going on. Fine. But this it's such a joke, dude. It really makes me sick.
It's like
I'm gonna puke.
The Scotty Scheffler
all over my.
It's like, please, number one, please don't do that. It's like the Scotty Scheffler thing that happened recently. I don't know if you guys remember
help me out. I don't know who that is.
Scotty Scheffler is the number one golfer in the world right now, number one professional golfer in the world, and he got arrested. What was that, a few months ago, Jared? He got arrested driving to play at a tournament, and they took him to jail.
I think he drove. He started driving, and like the police officer like ran and jumped on the hood of his car, and it was kind of like a "What are you doing?" moment. I think it was.
But the internet blew up and said that he ran over the police officer.
Right.
And it was like, that's not what happened at all. Right, but there's also this issue with very, very wealthy people where they think they can do whatever they want. And one of the reasons the police officer got hit by him is because he wasn't obeying traffic laws. He's basically saying, I'm Scotty Scheffler, I'm more important than all of you, which he is. But,
depending on your point of reference, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it is more important for him to get to the golf course than a spectator, right? But but he still broke the rules and someone got hurt, right?
Yeah,
right.
And this seems to be a recurring theme, and it's like, dude, the town I live in, when I see a police officer, it's not fear, but there's definitely there's a level of respect, I feel, to where if a police officer pulled me over and I were like raising and lowering the like I would never do that.
Being disrespectful.
It blows my mind.
I would never do that. Like, and if I did, I'd be afraid to yank me out of my car. Like,
yeah.
And Deg, you know what they would say? Because I literally saw this on Reddit. They would say to you, "Wow, what a bootlicker." Some of us, I literally saw a comment that said somebody was like, "Well, if he'd have just not rolled his window up and just like cooperated, then this wouldn't be a thing." Which is the most sensible take in my mind. And somebody literally replied and said, "Some of us don't like to lick boots to remain free."
So ridiculous.
Are you out of your mind, dude? What are you talking about? Free.
Pennsylvania versus Mims. Pennsylvania versus Mims is all you need to know. In case you didn't know, there's a few court cases that have set precedent that's like pretty irreversible. Pennsylvania versus Mims is one of them. It's a U.S. Supreme Court criminal law decision from 1977, which holds that a police officer ordering a person out of a car following a traffic stop and conducting a pat down or doing whatever it is that they deem right for that situation does not violate the Fourth Amendment. They get to ask you to get out of the car, and you don't get to say no. Because if you do say no, they're going to take action to make you comply, and they get to do that. That's part of it. And if you want to read up on Pennsylvania versus Mims, that's 1977 that came out. You can go right ahead. I know that from a YouTube channel that I follow because I'm a certified bootlicker, I guess.
You're a bootlicker, dude.
But like it's a valid point of reference. Like, please don't give rich people a second to prove just how much better than you they are, because they will. They will. And this is what killed me, right? Money is the great equalizer. If you have money, it's the only privilege that matters because you could have privilege or lack of privilege or bias against you or bias for you, and that's all well and good, coming from like other dimensions of your life. But the only thing that matters is the money. It's the only thing that matters. Mm-hmm. And you want to know how I know that is because what is Tyreek Hill's consequence for getting a speeding ticket? He's got to pay a fine, probably.
Yeah.
Right? And whether it's Tyreek Hill or whether it's you, Jared, or me, or Deg, we would have to do the same thing. And it would be the same amount unless we're some sort of repeat offender or there's some other thing.
Would it be the same thing, though? Because if I'm doing 100 miles an hour in a 30, I'm going to jail. But Tyreek Hill on Sunday morning on week 1, they're like, the mayor of the city is literally going to the holding cell and releasing him. That's all I'm going to say.
You're right. No, you're right. Let me walk back what I just said. You're right. In his situation, specifically in that traffic stop, he had a game that day, and they did something that I would argue is foolish, right? And let him
Let's pretend he was going 45 miles per hour.
Let's pretend he wasn't Tyreek Hill. Let's pretend he was just some other rich guy who got right. So what I'm saying is ultimately, generally,
let's pretend he's a giant crab that goes down the field and catches balls with a giant claw.
And somebody pulled him over and was like, "Whoa, Are you a crab right now?
Are you Tyreek Crab?
You telling me a crab drove this car, dude?
Oh my god! Breaking news: Tyreek Hill has been transformed into a giant crab.
That's so stupid. What I'm saying is, there's a lot of laws that if you break them, the penalty is like pay a fine, okay? And that fine is static, no matter what amount of money that you make. Yeah. And so that's one of many, many reasons that being rich insulates you from just like the world, right? Some people have FU money where it doesn't matter what you do, you cannot touch them. Between their assets and their liquidities and their whatevers, they just win. They won at life. Maybe they were born into it. Maybe they worked. Maybe they whatever. Because, you know, to be clear, there is such a thing as like a righteous millionaire, okay? I know people in my family and extended family and friends who are millionaires, but they're like worked really hard in a government job for 50 years and they're pulling a pension now, and they invested in the stock market and had a 401k and didn't live above their means, and now they have like $1 or $2 million in their retirement account. Right? I hope to get there one day. Maybe I will. I'm not sure, but like that's an achievable thing. You know, if you work hard and maybe go to school, maybe you don't, like that's a thing. Tyreek Hill millionaire is different, and those kind of people, they do not experience the real world. They just don't. They live in some other version. And so, and when I am president, I will make it so that all penalties for all civil and criminal violations, if there is a fine involved, that fine comes in the form of a percentage of your income based on your last year's tax return. It is not a static amount. We will have like 0.1% annual income fines, and we will have 5% annual income fines. If you park where you're not supposed to park, you get a 0.5% of your last year's income fine. If you park in a fire lane and endanger other people's lives, that's a 5% of your last year's income fine, right? I think that is an incredibly easy and really smart, and it'll fund our local governments better, solution to these little ticky-tack, nickel and dime, stupid fines that we have to pay when we make a oopsie or we're in a rush and we prioritize the wrong things and we break the law a little bit and we got to pay a fine. If that fine is not scaling with your station in life, then it's just a tax on poor people. If you assume that little civil penalties occur at the same rate no matter who you are, which they don't, but you know what I mean? It's basically a tax on poor people because relative to their income, they're worse off after losing. The one time I got like a speeding ticket, I lost like $600, and that meant a lot to me at the time because it was like a summer job. I was like waiting tables, and I was like, shit, that's like 2 weeks worth of tips. Like that sucks, you know. I'm stupid. Yeah. I shouldn't have done that.
Where did you get Where did you get hit for 600? How fast were you going?
I was going 15, 16 over, so it was technically
$600.
Well, because I didn't. It wasn't enough that you could like get a lawyer and talk it down or anything, and they gave me like a court date and all that. So I just like showed up to the court date and I just paid the money and I was like, all right, bye. Yeah. It was really stupid, but anyways, that's the little streak of purple hair that I have is that we maybe need to eat some of the rich, but not directly. We don't need to just take their money and give it to other people. I want to see them pay their fair share of taxes. I want to see them pay their fair share of civil penalty and criminal penalty fees. Because they're currently just completely insulated, from the real world.
We should cite,
and I think that sucks.
We should cite precedent court law in our podcast more often, guys.
Yeah, dude, it brings this air of just confidence, and really, I know that I'm right. You can say sound off in the comments, people. Go ahead, try to disagree with me. I know I'm right, and you can eat my.
Whoa! These are our listeners.
This is the Supreme Court Precedent podcast now.
Oh my gosh!
Our listeners, all 12 of them.
This is an ableist gamer fantasy football Supreme Court Precedent podcast.
Supreme Court.
Whoa! Supreme Court.
You want some cream corn?
Taking it all the way to the Supreme Corn. So yeah, I think that's an alternative point to Jake's. We can do what he said. We can roll something out, some sort of legislation, or we can just turn people into crabs if they don't follow the law, like Tyreek Hill.
That's right, dude. Listen, I love a good crab leg. Come on.
I know. I feel bad for his fantasy players, but hey, Tyreek, good luck catching touchdown passes when you're walking down the field like this. Yeah. You stupid idiot. And just to close this out, I don't want to turn the gun on Tyreek on this because he's acting like an idiot, but he didn't do something so stupid that like, wow, you suck. He just is like didn't cooperate, and it's like this is a nothing burger. Nobody should be talking about this. This is boring. That's my main point. I'm not trying to like get mad at Tyreek Hill because whatever. He acts like a rich,
hilariously, we're adding to the discourse by including it on our podcast. But yes, I agree. The point is, it shouldn't have become a headline. Listen to the cops, Pennsylvania versus Mims. Like, shut up.
But if he turns into a crab, you know where you heard it first, folks.
You heard it here first.
You heard it on Grasstouchers. Brother.
Listen here, brother.
Listen here, brother.
That is very good. Hey, in related rich people news, the PS5 Pro was announced, ladies and gentlemen.
Skip.
It looks pretty dumb. Big fat skip. I don't have a PlayStation. I have literally never owned any Sony hardware in my life, dude. Wow. Except maybe like a DVD player,
TV,
or like I had a Sony Vaio desktop.
Oh wow!
In like 2001, it was like a Pentium 2 processor in it or whatever. So I don't really care, but I do want to poke fun at Papa Sony there. $700, a cool 700 American Freedom Eagles,
and 700 euros.
Yes, dude, it's like very bad. Now, of course, they have to deal with like VAT and all kinds of commie nonsense over there. But the point stands. It's like a lot of money and really dumb because it doesn't come with a disk drive. It is slightly more performance or whatever, ray tracing, this that.
Doesn't come with a stand.
It doesn't come with a stand. Not even. Yeah, it's like ridiculous. And of course, for what I think is the third console iteration, we're being promised 4K gaming. And we're like, no. But really, guys, this time, you don't have to choose between fidelity and performance. You just, it'll run great, promise.
It'll be 4K, exactly halfway between. It won't be 60 frames per second. It'll be 45.
Yes. They're going to claim that, 4K 60 is just going to happen.
Right.
As if all games are optimized equally. Hello, like that's so dumb.
Yeah.
But yeah, the PS5 Pro. I don't know. Sound off. Do we care about this? I know we don't actually care.
I think I care. I was going to maybe see if I could buy this because they were like, "Oh, it's coming out with a Pro version soon." I was thinking, okay, that sounds cool. They usually, like, if history has been any indicator, they release a more powerful version for like the same price, if not less. Has been they lower the profile. It's like an improved, and they take all the problems they had with the first and they fix those. It's like a win all the way around. This is not something I will be buying. I have changed my course entirely.
This is not that.
I think it's ridiculous, and Sony can do whatever they want. People will still buy this. Tyreek Hill will probably still buy this. He'll break it because his giant crab claws is going to probably smash the controller, but he'll buy it. And it's fine. Sony's not going to go under for it, but it is funny. It's like, dang.
Yeah.
700. You can build a PC for like not that much more. But
yes, literally.
Yeah, I already have a PS5, and the PS5 honestly feels pretty powerful to me. I mean, like to me, I don't get it. Like, I kind of agree with what Jared's saying. Is like you have the PS5, which is like between $500 and $600, and then you have like gaming computers, which are like in the low thousands, mid-thousand, right?
Right.
Like, we don't really need something between those. We don't really, in my opinion. Right? Like, it's like, I don't know. The PS5 feels powerful enough for like the average person. Look, the average person doesn't need a gaming computer. It's what it is.
Right.
Like,
I agree.
They don't. And I don't know. I think it's unnecessary.
I saw a headline today that I thought would be an interesting jumping off point for this discussion. Somebody sort of asked and posed the question, should I buy a PS5 Pro or a Steam Deck? And the response was, I don't know. Should you buy a car or a boat, dude? Like, it's two different things. And I was like, LOL, that's pretty funny. Good point. But it bears this question. Like, what are you buying this for? Like, at all?
Right.
Because there's a few games on the PlayStation ecosystem, especially PS5, that you can't play anywhere else. And they used to have the best console exclusives. No exaggeration there. Xbox has undersold compared to PlayStation 5, and for good reason, because it's not that great. And I think it's like by 3 times, by the way. Like, it's not that close at all. But what are you trying to do? Are you trying to sit on the couch and play a game? Well, in that case, you should probably just buy the thing that's cheaper than that, because the PS5 Pro isn't going to do anything for you that the PS5 can't do. Not really. You're probably not, a graphic snob.
And do you have a $2,000 OLED to make use of it?
Well, this is the thing. You're going to need a big, incredible TV with a high refresh rate and an OLED screen, and there's only one way to do something like that justice. Take it from me, who I have a monitor that I've been wanting to upgrade for a while, but I haven't, because I'm being a stick in the mud trying to save money. It is not glossy. It has a matte finish. It's just an LED, but it's 21:9, and I like it. So, who cares?
Yeah.
If I really wanted to make my computer look extra good, I'd get a better monitor.
Sure.
So it's like I'm kind of leaning toward I think I might be done with buying consoles, except if my kids want them in the future, whatever. For me, if I'm going to sit on the couch, I might as well be playing on my Steam Deck, because then I can especially because I'm probably playing something offline, right? Pause, walk away, put the fries in the oven, take the fries out of the oven, play with my kids, pause, put it away. It's just so much more flexible for my life.
Oven,
take it anywhere.
Out of the oven.
right. I can. Yeah, that's right. There's no reason for me, I don't think, to have a video game console that plugs into my television that monopolizes the living room. Let's not forget, right? Dad's on the PlayStation.
Right.
You're kind of taking over the room by doing that. Now,
it's kind of cool though. It's a power move to your kids.
It is a power move.
All right, get ready for bed.
It's
gamer time for daddy.
I'm playing Star Wars Outlaws. Get away from me.
85-inch OLED Sony is a $20,000 television. It's
5.1 surround sound.
Those big, giant, stupid yellow letters start scrolling down, and you're just like, oh, yeah. Honey, tell those kids to keep it down.
Did you get Star Wars Outlaws, Jake?
No, it's funny you bring that up. I brought it up just now as a point of, I don't know why I brought it up, but I want to play that game. I've heard that it's fine. I've also seen footage of it that was very underwhelming, and I've been so let down by Star Wars content lately, I might as well be boycotting. I don't want to ingest Star Wars into my body right now. I'm just not really trying to do that. I'm in my tactical phase of playing Tarkov and looking at IRL gun parts online, and you know what I mean? I just don't really want to do a Star War right now. But I have a buddy at church, the drummer at church. He said that he got it. He hasn't played video games in a long time, and he bought an Xbox for the first time in 10 years, so that he could play the college football game that had released recently, And he was like, this is my new obsession. I just remembered how much I love video games. There's rules. I literally haven't played video games in 10 years, and I love having an Xbox again. And then Star Wars Outlaws came out, and this guy, shout out to Stephen Cook, if you're listening, buddy. This guy's got Star Wars collectibles in his dining room, lining the wall, okay? We're talking charred remains of Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru. We're talking this action figure and that action figure and this Lego set and this Lego set lining his wall. And he's an aficionado. He's the guy. He's the Star Wars guy in my life. He knows a little bit more than me about certain things about Star Wars, and that's saying something. This guy rocks. And he said, yeah, Star Wars Outlaws, it rules. But, and I'm sure he would agree with me saying this, he also hasn't played video games in, admittedly, 10 years. And his sort of taste for gameplay, or his critique of how a game loop works or whatever, is just don't care. This rules. I'm immersed.
Yeah.
Sounds good to me, And so if I find myself in that place where I can engage with a video game on that level again, like he is, then maybe I'll scoop it up for $30 in the future when it's on sale. You know what I'm saying? But I don't really want to go there right now. Certainly not for full price. So what do you think about Star Wars Outlaws? Would you play it?
Well, I was going to say that I think that it brings up the point of if Star Wars Outlaws were released 10 years ago, it'd be Game of the Year, legendary. People probably would have thought it's the greatest thing ever. But people think of Witcher 3 now. People would be like, "Oh, Star Wars Outlaws." Remember when that game came out? It'd be like the Skyrim. It'd be like,
yep.
It'd be pretty amazing. I will say though, I've been meaning to ask you this: have you seen Warhammer 40,000: Space Marine 2?
I have, and I have a buddy that was trying to get into it. I've been telling this guy at work about Tarkov and how cool it is. He was in the actual Marines during the global war on terror, and he has like stacked bodies. And he was like, I don't know, I'm pretty close. I'm on the fence of buying Tarkov. I'm also on the fence of doing this Warhammer thing because I used to do the tabletop version. It didn't last very long, but I kind of think Warhammer rules. And yeah, I heard good things. Have you been impressed by it in some way? Have you seen some footage or something?
I've seen some footage, and some people that I respect, some streamers I respect, were like talking about it like this game looks and feels really good to play. And it's got
an actual campaign, which I heard is a highlight.
Yeah, might be worth dipping our toe into. What's the Costa Rooney on that store?
That's what I'm curious about.
$60. Wow.
Yeah, that's good.
I'm gonna pass.
Yeah, full on real video game right now. I guess it's got classes, which is interesting.
I saw some videos of it, and I thought, like, this is a Jake game.
Yeah? All right, I'm going to watch a YouTube short of it right now. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us for episode 40. I can't believe we made it all the way to 40, and we're not done yet. So please tune in next week. Follow us on Instagram and YouTube at 3 Grasstouchers. Just uploaded a little YouTube short the other day of a little Tarkov action, so make sure you check that out and keep your eyes out for more. And until next week, get out there and touch some grass.